Hi, welcome to Advanced Test Equipment. My name is Vay, and today we're looking at the Agilent HLD MD15, a highly sensitive helium leak detector, which is great for industrial, R&D, and quality control environments. Whether you're looking for vacuum integrity for high vacuum rated products, this helium leak detector is great at doing accurate, fast, and reliable readings. Once you've turned on the helium leak detector, you should be seeing prompts for stabilization weight or some form of waiting for the actual roughing pump and turbo pump to build up the vacuum pressure inside. And at some point, you should, usually within 30 minutes, see a system ready prompt. Looking here at our front panel screen, we can see that we have our 0 button and a vent button. These are pretty standard in all helium leak detectors. We can go over here and see we have a calibration menu, and here you can calibrate the unit to make sure it stabilizes and does accurate readings. We can do it with the internal leak or an external leak. There's an internal leak installed in the unit, so it's pretty easy to just turn the unit on and hit calibrate and everything is good to go. We can come over here to test configuration, and you can set different test points that you would want to be notified if it reaches a certain leak rate, pressure. We can go over here to advanced features and see different types of features as well with the different test points, auto zero, gross test, and how long you'd want stabilization weight to show up for. Here we have applications set up where we can go between different applications. We have the Sniffer method, the spray method, high sensitivity, auto sequencer, split flow, and ppm or parts per million sniff method. In the maintenance tab, you can view the maintenance, the due date on the calibrated leak, and upgrade your software. There's additional manual tuning for all the different valves, different valve control, checking the pumps, gauge calibration, and always go back and set the factory defaults as well. Here you can view system information and see the filaments, software version, the serial number, and how fast that turbo pump is running. Looking at our helium leak detector, you can see that we have our sniffer probe connected to the inlet port of the leak detector, and with a hose clamp wrapped around it to ensure we don't have any air leaks. After allowing the helium leak detector to warm up for about 30 minutes, you should reach a point where the system is ready to test. You can go ahead here and press the play button to start the test. It'll go through the roughing sequence. And you should expect to see about a less than 1 to the -8 millibar leak. And you can always zero your test out to make sure it's zeroed. And then we can go by here checking for leaks. Here we have ourselves just a helium tank with a tube connected to it, tied around with a zip tie. One might think this is a fairly airtight seal, but with the leak detector we can go around with the sniffer to check. Let me go ahead and open this a little bit. Go over around here and see that although we might think this is an airtight seal, we can see the leak detector is detecting about, once it stabilizes, it's like a 3 point, around a 3 to the -4, and 1 to the -4 millibar per liter second leak. If you ever experience any issues with our helium leak detectors, some simple checks to do are make sure to wait at least 30 minutes before trying to do any readings. 30 minutes is usually the leeway time that I would say to get the most stable readings. Another good check is the pump condition. Make sure that all the pumps are operating up to spec. If you hear any weird sounds, that could be an indication. And as well, check the oil level. If you never actually end up reaching a stable system ready, that could be a good sign that the pumps could be bad. Make sure there's no helium in the ambient air. If there is helium, that could be throwing off readings, and you might be seeing leaks where you're not really expecting to see leaks. Always check your inlet filters. So as you can see, there's a filter on the actual sniffer probe, and there's more filters inside of the unit. Sometimes these filters can get blocked and can cause issues. And then finally, checking the hose connections. As you see, we have hose clamps around between the pumps. Sometimes they can come loose, so make sure to check that everything is tight. Looking more specifically at the HLD 15, this unit has a dry scroll pump, meaning an oil-free pump, which is a lot less maintenance. You never really have to fill in any oil. The pump is pretty much set to go right from the start. This unit also has an interface remote control, which is helpful for automating tests, and a discrete I/O interface, so you can remotely start stop sequences, and it supports the custom sequences as well as automating tests. For rentals, support, and more helium leak detection solutions, visit www.atecrp.com.